Now, most people think weight loss is about food, but food is not the real problem. The real problem is the habits that you have that keep choosing your food for you. Because what people do repeatedly, eventually it shows up on their body. So if your nights are totally out of control, your mornings are rushed, your kitchen is full of trigger foods, then your mind keeps saying, hey, let's just start Monday. Now, the problem is not that you need another diet. The problem is that you need a new system. Your body is simply responding to your current habits. So, whatever you tend to do all the time is what's going to lead you to the body that you eventually have. So, it's up to you as far as which of those habits, what habits you want to keep, what habits you want to give away. So, your habits are not, and they're not just behaviors. These are like decisions that you make over and over again that are building your future body, your future confidence, and your future energy level. So if you want to lose weight, you cannot keep living the way that keeps you overweight. You have to change your habits in order to follow those new habits to take you to the new body that you actually want to have.
So now we're going to go into the steps for weight loss, and it's changing your habits. We all think it's the food, like he was saying, but it's more than motivation, because motivation is an emotion and our emotions change hourly, probably, especially mine do. So if you wait until you feel like it, you'll keep delaying your results and you'll stop waiting to feel ready. And so ready is not a feeling, ready is a decision.
And the things that you do, the things that you say to yourself are so important. You can say things to yourself, and many people do. They say words to themselves that are actually cutting themselves down. And we talk about this. People come up and they start bad mouthing themselves to me. And I'll be like, wait, let me say what you just said about you and see how it makes you feel. Because if you hear the things that you say to yourself coming out of somebody else's mouth, it really makes you feel bad. It should do the same thing when you hear the things coming out of your own mouth or in your own thoughts. So you have to quit saying things like, I have no willpower. And you need to start saying things like, I'm becoming the kind of person that keeps promises to myself, because ultimately that's what's going on. If you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you just lied to yourself. And every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you lie to yourself more and more. And then you get in the habit of just lying to yourself. And that's what you've got to stop. You've got to change habits to make it to where you don't lie to yourself anymore. So you need to stop saying things like, oh, I always mess up, and start saying, I'm learning a new pattern, because that's what you're doing. If you mess up, everybody messes up. That's how you learn. Just don't let that take you down. Don't let that wear you down. Just remember, hey, I messed up. No big deal. I'll just get right back on board again and learn a new pattern. What can I do to keep from making that mistake again? And that's really what life is. You make mistakes. If you don't learn from them, God's going to keep putting those same things in front of you until you finally learn. And once you learn it, you go on. And this is the same way. Don't beat yourself up because you made one poor, unhealthy food choice or whatever it is. Just say, oops, I know why I did that. Learn a new habit and go on from there.
Another thing you need to do is you need to change your environment. So you guys, if you're walking into your kitchen, it should be a safe place. And it's not a safe place if in your pantry, you know what's in your pantry. And it's like the chips. Those are comfort. That's a comfort food. And the crackers and whatever else, the cookies that are in your pantry. You need to clean out your pantry, get rid of all of that ultra processed food. You need to be eating real food. So the problem is not just discipline. The problem is probably in your pantry. And so if in your house, if the food is in your house, it will eventually get eaten. And probably if you're still trying to get the weight off, you realize that this is a problem. I know it's a problem for me. Steve doesn't have this problem, but I have this problem. If I know the food is in here, I will be eating it. So if the snacks are visible, they will eventually get grabbed. So make being healthy easy and get rid of those things out of your pantry.
And this is so huge. And this really, anytime somebody's trying to start a new diet, which I hate the word diet, diet is like holding your breath underwater. You can do it for a little while, but eventually you're going to come up for air and you're going to gasp for all the air you can. So the worst thing you want to do is be going on a diet where you're starving yourself. Because when you lose weight the right way, you really don't become hungry, or you have very, very rarely do you become hungry. But when you just try silly diets, you're going to be hungry all the time. And when you are, you immediately go to the pantry. So that's why we know how important it is to clean that pantry out before you ever start any new, if you truly care about your health and you truly care about your body and your future, your energy, your future weight, your future health, your future everything, and feeling good about yourself, the first thing you have to do is clean out your pantry. And for that reason, that's why we've come up with a pantry purge party. We run that from 11 to 1 on most Saturdays. It's a live Zoom call. You come on with us and with everybody else that's on the call, and together we'll go through your pantries, and I'll explain to you why you want to take certain things out of your pantry, what ingredients are in there that you need to be careful of. So by the end of this 2-hour session, you and everybody else that's with you will have a clean pantry, and now you can start good. You've got a good base to start going from. And then all we have to do after that is just fill it with healthy stuff. And what you'll find out after you do this is really there's not a lot of healthy stuff that goes in your pantry. Most of the healthy stuff that you eat is going to go in your refrigerator. But the Pantry Purge Party is a good way to find that out. And so all you have to do is just click the link below and get on our Pantry Purge Party, or you can go to our website, drstevehewlett.com. There's a big button on there, and you can get on the Pantry Purge Party there also. Just pick a date that you'd like to come and join us. That's why we have the Pantry Purge Party, because we know this is a very important first step, is get all these trigger foods, the ones that trigger you into breaking your new goals and go back to your old habits. Those are what triggers are. So we want to get rid of those trigger foods so you can live a good, happy, healthy life.
So another thing you want to do is you want to have some wins. So you want to win one decision at a time. So don't try to fix everything immediately, like trying to fix your whole life. It's probably what you've done in the past and it hasn't worked. It's like you try to change too many things and your brain is just, I don't know what's going on here, but I am not happy about this. And so you maybe are good for a week and then you fall off the wagon. So just don't fix your whole day. Just win the next meal, win your next decision, or win for the next hour. I have heard this before. Somebody wants something. It's just wait 10 minutes. Do you still want it? Are you bored? Are you thirsty? So these are just little steps. So the goal is to not be perfect. The goal is to be intentional.
In fact, if you make the goal perfect, you're never going to achieve it. You will never be perfect. We're not supposed to be. All of life is just trying things, see if they work. The things that you try, are they helping you become the future you that you want to be? Because basically that's what every decision you make is going to be leading down one of those paths. It's either to the person that you already have been that you don't like and you want to, or you may like, but you want to become better. So the decision you make, it's either going to lead you to the path where you're trying to become better, or it's going to lead you down the path where you're going to be worse. So that's really important. And this is not just your food, but really most of the decisions you make, you're leading down one path or the other. It's up to you. Do you want to be down the path where you feel lively and healthy? Because if you're sitting here and you're eating a bunch of junk food, all this man-made food and box, bottle, bag, can with all this big ingredient list, you are not on the path to become healthy. You are on the path to actually become very sick, because what the choices you make, it either heals us or it kills us. And you got to decide which path are you on, the one that heals you or the one that kills you. Again, the words that you say to yourself are huge. Do not belittle this. But instead of saying things like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, one, just the fact that you say trying means you don't think you're going to do it. I'll try it, but I probably am not going to do it. That is a horrible word. You should never say, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to whatever it is. You need to start saying things like, I'm becoming the kind of person who eats real food and takes care of my body. That's because that's exactly what you're doing. And it's so empowering when if you say that to yourself, I'm becoming the kind of person who does this. That's huge. That doesn't mean that you're perfect. You may slip. You may have these little roadblocks, these little things that come up that knock you off the path, but just let it knock you off the path and get right back on again. Just remember, just because you mess up one time doesn't mean you've ruined everything. It just means, hey, you messed up. Get back on path. You'll learn by getting on path. What did you do to get back on path again? And you'll start learning to come up with better ways and start not having those things come up that are making you get off path. So when you change from I'm trying to I'm becoming the kind of person, that will make all the difference in the world. And don't say that you're a person who's trying to lose weight. Okay, just say, I am the person who's becoming healthy on purpose. And just say it to yourself now, I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm becoming healthy on purpose. it gives you strength, power. It empowers you to continue with your goals. And that's what you're wanting to do, is empower yourself with the words that you tell yourself.
I like that. Becoming the healthy person on purpose. I really like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
We want to make this process simple. And so simplicity really works. And I think people think these things have to be hard. And that's why we don't do them, because, of course, we're making them harder than they need to be. So, what we really focus on with what we teach is you want to eat real food, no ultra processed food. A real food is going to be a God made food. We also call it like a one ingredient food. There's other things you can have that have a couple of ingredients, but if you think of it that way, that's really simple. You want to eat protein, you want to eat whole foods, no snacking.
Yeah.
And you want to
snacking
definitely
is what's killing us. People snack all day long. And the reason people are snacking is because they're eating foods that have no nutrients in it. Remember, that's why you get hungry. If you are eating, that's part of the things that assess, are you really hungry, or is it just one of those habits that we're talking about? And you don't want to do that. If you are truly hungry and you're truly hungry all the time, that is your body saying, I gave you the hunger signal. You did not give me any nutrients whatsoever. So I'm going to give that hunger signal to you again. And that's why people are hungry all day long, because they never do give themselves nutrients. They keep snacking on this horrible ultra processed food that you get in a box, bottle, bag, and can with an ingredient list that made in a laboratory. That is only there to make the food companies money. That has nothing to do with your health, your nutrition. Actually, it does. It has everything to do with your health and nutrition, because that is going to lead you to the path to becoming more sick. That's what's going to lead you to the path of death. And that's what you do not want to do. So again, don't belittle what these things that we're doing and the things that you say to yourself. This stuff is really important.
So just like we said, just keep the process simple. If you can just get rid of those foods, and there are foods, if you knew that there are a bag of chips, and you like a bag of chips totally trigger me, and it's like, I can eat the whole bag of chips, I'm not full, which should make you realize that there's no nutrients in that bag of chips, because you do not get full. You cannot eat that many hard-boiled eggs or scrambled eggs. You eat 3. I can eat 3 and I'm so full when I'm done. So just realize, going back to the foods that you have in your house, just be sure to keep those foods out of your house, and that you have the good foods. You'll plan ahead, of course, but you'll have those good foods in your house, won't be triggered by the other foods. And we just need to remove them. That way you're not fighting this temptation. We're fighting enough things all throughout the day. Food should just not be one of those.
No, not at all. And please don't, a lot of other things that people say to themselves are things like, oh, it's too expensive to eat healthy. Oh, so what am I supposed to have? Just an empty plate with a piece of meat in the middle of it? I mean, people say the silliest things to keep them from improving their lives. So that's the first thing. You have to truly decide, do you truly want your future to be healthier than you are now, or do you not? And if you do, you've got to quit talking to yourself like that, because you can either make progress or you can make excuses. You cannot do both of those at the same time. So if you find yourself making excuses for why you get healthy, that is the surest way to stay unhealthy. And remember, you don't stay unhealthy like where you are now. You become more and more unhealthy. You start having more and more organ damage. You start being on more and more medications, be admitted to the hospitals more and more. So really think, why would you try to make an excuse for why you want to end up in the medical system, when really you can make tiny decisions, tiny changes in your habits that can actually lead you to staying out of the medical system? What you want to do is, when you start thinking about your future, when you start thinking about your habits, when you're thinking about, I want to become more healthy, you don't just stop bad habits. You have to build new ones. And remember, this is not a short-term diet. When you give your body the nutrients it needs, it is amazing how wonderfully God made us. And so if you're hungry, then if you're truly hungry, that's when you're going to go to the refrigerator. And just like Teresa said, hard-boiled eggs, having good things in there. Hard-boiled eggs, a hard-boiled egg is a superfood. It will keep you full. It has remember, nutrition for your body, the nutrients your body makes. If you tear your whole body down and there's nothing left, what you end up with is protein, fat, cholesterol, vitamins, minerals, and water. That's what our bodies are made up of. That's what we need. We do not need all this glucose. We do, and that glucose we do not need. Our body can make all the glucose it needs out of protein, out of fat. And glucose and carbohydrates are the exact same thing. So when you find this, when you look at the man-made, laboratory-made food that's in your pantries with all these big food labels of all the ingredients and everything that's on that, all that stuff is made up of glucose, which you don't need, fructose, which is toxic to your body, seed oils, which is extremely inflammatory to your body, and chemicals, which are extremely inflammatory to your body. So glucose and fructose make you more obese. They keep you starving all the time. And the food companies know this. That's why they put that stuff in their products. They don't care about your health. All they want you to do is be continuously hungry, continuously eat their food. So while they're getting richer, you're getting sicker. And that's what you've got to quit doing. Quit giving your money to the people who are making you sick and start giving your money to the farmers who are making you healthy, the local farmers. And once you start giving your body nutrients, you're not going to be hungry all the time. You're not going to be going to your pantries all the time because you're actually giving your body the nutrients it needs. So this is not a short-term goal. This is, you're actually coming up with a brand new lifestyle and one that you actually live. This shouldn't be hard. Make tiny little steps, tiny little steps. So a lot of it's just changing your routine. So if you have an old habit that you know this habit is what's keeping me sick, then you've got to come up a new one to replace that. So say you always snack at night. That's just something you do. And you know you're not supposed to, and that's usually sugar. So you're going to have some kind of sugar, some kind of carbohydrate. You eat at night. Glucose gets in your blood. It gets into your system. It goes up. And now you put yourself in a fight or flight mode. And now you're wondering why you're having trouble sleeping at night. So usually when you're snacking, it's not the healthy kind of snacks. If you have to snack, that's where hard-boiled eggs or good healthy beef sticks, because some beef sticks are not healthy. But come up with something else. Or if you can just maybe snack maybe a little bit earlier, make your last meal, the last thing you eat, maybe 3-4 hours before you go to bed. And you'll see that you're going to be able to sleep better. You're not going to be as hungry, and you're going to start feeling better. And that's going to keep you on track to where you want to be. You need to create a new way to end your day. If you start it that way, if you start your day eating nothing but glucose because you have something like oatmeal or toast and orange juice and whatever else people, energy drinks and all these other things, people, it's all carb, it's glucose. We are glucose toxic. Our bodies, again, I've said it before, back in 1965, it was estimated that we ate about 2 teaspoons of sugar per person per day. In 2015, that was re-estimated that we eat over 65 teaspoons of sugar per person per day. We are eating sugar and glucose in everything that we eat. And that was 10 years ago. You know, it's more than this. So glucose isn't bad, but that's all we eat all the time. And that is horrible. That's where we're getting our organ damage. So that's all we're trying to do is get you to quit eating all the carbohydrates and eat good, healthy protein, fat, and cholesterol with vitamins and minerals instead. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel. So just create new routines when you have bad routines that you know are keeping you going down the wrong path.
And so we're just going to give you now some examples of what you can do. And just pick one of these. You don't need to pick a bunch. Just pick one and just do it for a week and see how it feels. You may have to do some tweaking, but the time is going to pass anyway. So why don't you make some smart choices? Do one thing at a time. We're in no hurry, but you just want to do one thing at a time is what we're trying to stress here. So pick one habit to change. You could pick one thing you want to take out of your pantry that really triggers you to overeat. Now, I'm sure some things don't, but there's got to be one thing. For me, it would be like Tostitos. That would be mine. They are not in our house.
No.
They're not in our house.
Yeah, we don't have any of this stuff in our house.
And then because I'm the bad one and he is not. So anyway, just saying that. But plan your first meal the day before. So if you plan ahead, then you're going to have that's a win right there. Planning ahead is a huge win. And that's probably one of the biggest things you could do is just to plan ahead for the next day. And usually, you know, when whatever's going to be happening, you could take your meal. You could know that, we're all at work and we're going to go to lunch. Then just plan, make sure you know your protein and have some vegetables with it and just plan ahead. not always, but a lot of the time, if I go to a restaurant and I've never been there before, I'll pull it up online. I'll pull it up on my phone, look at the menu, and then I'll decide from there. Oh, okay. And then you're going to decide that's what you're going to pick. You're not going to be that person that is sitting at the table, which makes me crazy. And I really hate it when I do this and I can't make up my mind and people are waiting and waiting. It's like, make a decision, make it the right one, make it the one you made before you even got to the restaurant. And then decide what time and then another one is you could decide what time you're going to stop eating at night. We really suggest, like he said, the 3 to 4 hours. And then don't just try not to snack. Get really full when you have dinner. Have plenty of protein, fat on your plate. And that should really help you. You guys just do this for 7 days. Pick one of these things for 7 days and see what works.
So really a good thing for that is just picture a kitchen closing time. That's all. Okay, kitchen closes at this time, and then set that in your mind. It is closed. You cannot walk in there. You can't just mindlessly go through the pantry, mindlessly go through the refrigerator. Kitchen's closed. So a lot of times having that definitive, that light switch, that on-off switch, it really helps your brain think. Because if you start playing with your brain, we've talked about this in many episodes, that's your primal brain. Your primal brain says, I'm hungry, I want to eat. I'm nervous, I want to eat. I want to do that. That's your primal brain. You're smart, you're intelligent, you're the brain that you have that God gave us, you need to use your thoughts. That's a prefrontal cortex of your brain. And when you do this, kitchen closed at 6. There. And now you've moved that from the primal, I'm hungry, to, oh, kitchen closed at 6, I can't go in there anymore. And that thing can really help you keep on track. And I highly recommend you do something like that. Just have a kitchen closing time, 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed, and you'd be amazed at how much better you sleep. Now, just some practical examples. These are just things that you can do. Like if you do mindlessly snack, you just go in and I don't know why I'm here. I'm depressed or whatever, or I'm just bored.
Procrastinating.
Procrastinating. Yeah. Just keep that food out of sight. Make it to where you have to go another step further before you get to unhealthy food. And that's the reason why getting the unhealthy food out of your house is by far the best thing you can do anyway, because you're definitely not going to get up and just drive to the store and pick you up some bag of chips. You might, but I have a feeling you won't if you really set that to your goal that you want to be a healthy person.
And then also we had been on a call with a lady and so this happens a lot. Her husband was not on board with her wanting to change the way that they eat. And so she was like, I'm okay, I'll do it. And he was fine. He was like, yeah, you do that, but I'm not going to. And I'm not getting rid of this food out of the kitchen. I still want to have whatever it was, cookies or she didn't even tell us. But what he did do was he put it up too high for her. So she was going to have to get a chair or get a little step ladder to reach it. And she's, I don't do it. She goes, I don't want to go to that much trouble. And she goes, and that's all it took for me.
Yeah. Separate your areas. Have a different shelf in the pantry. Just have something where their stuff, they can still get to it, but you're not tempted by it. And that's huge. And another one that we were talking about is if you keep restarting, if you start something and then you're starting down the path towards going to health, being healthy, and something changes and you have to stop for whatever reason, maybe whatever reason that could be, just remember that you don't have to stop totally and then you have to go and restart again, because it's so hard to continuously restart. So instead of restarting, just think, okay, how can I build this differently? And instead of stopping on the way, maybe I just have to stop this one thing, but I can still do everything else. Just like we said, it's so hard to eat healthy. And when we go away on trips, how am I going to do that? Just like Teresa said, find the restaurant you want, pull the menu up ahead, and then figure out ahead of time what you're going to eat. Instead of going there, you don't do anything. You don't plan in advance. You get down there, you order whatever's on there, whatever you're starving for anyway, which is probably going to be something bad. And then you're going to kick yourself the rest of the night because I shouldn't have done that. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? And Tony Robbins has that. You don't want to end your life saying, I should have done this and I should have done that. That way you're spending your whole life shoulding all over yourself. And you don't want to do that. Make the decisions in advance so you're not shoulding all over yourself in the future. Actually give your future self a gift that you want, a future gift of healthy. So once you reach that goal that you have, you look back and think, I'm so glad that I made these tiny little steps that actually got me to where I want to go.
Yeah. So as we wrap this episode up, you don't need a new body before you build new habits. You need the new habits so you can change the body you already have. And if you're unhappy with where you are and you've been doing this for years, Just that little thing, just go ahead, start new habits. Your brain is totally going to fight you on this. And that's why it's hard. But I think if you realize that you're good, it's going to be a battle at first. But then once you get the new habits going, and then it's super easy and your brain doesn't have to think anymore. And that's what your brain, it doesn't want to have to think. It wants to keep you where you are because you guys have been doing it for so long. You guys, you and your brain.
That's right, you and your brain. And that is two different things. Just because your brain thinks something doesn't mean it's right. And then so many people think that it's like, oh, this thought came in my head. It must be true. I must be worthless. I must not be worthy of having a healthy body. Everybody else can be healthy, but I'm not. I'm stuck to my medications. Those are horrible to your whole body, to your whole, the way you think about your body, the way your body feels. That is not empowering. You want to you talk to yourself empowering, talk to yourself, build yourself up, pretend that you are your best friend because you should be. And instead of tearing your best friend down, you're building them up. You're helping them go to that next level. And that's exactly what you do. You're just going to the next level, just one step at a time. As long as you're going in the right direction, just keep on going. And if you stumble, just get right back on. Don't let a slip turn into a slide and then to a crash. It's just a slip. Just get back on track and you'll be so glad you did.
Yeah. So just remember that when your life changes, when your habits change, and when your habits change, your decisions change. And when your decisions change, you decide that the old way is no longer acceptable. And it is a decision. You can't be, what was it that they said? It's you're thinking about doing something or you decide to do it. And when you really decide to do something, you'll do it. It's a decision. Nothing else is going to stop you.
And it's not really a choice. Some people, I'm choosing to do this. No, because you can also choose not to do it. But when you decide to do it, that makes all the difference in the world.
That's what it was.
I figured that's what you're looking for. So anyway, I hope this really encouraged you. I hope this helps you realize just because you're thinking something doesn't mean it's right. Think about the thoughts that you're thinking and decide, are these leading me to a path that heals me or leading to a path that kills me? And if you've been listening to our episodes, I think you'll know which path you're on, whether you're killing yourself or whether you're healing yourself. So if this encourages you, if you like this, please subscribe, share it with a friend, and then just take one small step today, whatever it is. If there's one thing that you know is really keeping you from getting healthy, just make that one step. If it's a food in the house that you don't want there, get it out of the house and replace it with something better. If it's a habit that you have, being crazy in the morning, being crazy at night, figure out how to change that so you're not that way. Pre-plan, planning ahead, planning in advance is huge for everything that you do. So again, one of the major steps is cleaning out your pantry. You've got to get the food out of your pantry. So maybe that's your first step. Maybe your first step is going on drstevehewlett.com. There's a big button at the top. There's one that says
Pantry Purge
Party. And there's one that says book a call. Either one of those. Click on the Pantry Purge Party. You get your calendar to one of our Saturdays and just pick whichever Saturday works best for you. And if you just want to call and see what else we have where we can help you, because we truly want to get people healthy, just book on the book a call. It's a free 30-minute call, and we'll just sit there and talk about where you are and if there's anything that we have that can help you get healthy. Like all of our other clients are getting off their medications and they're actually living brand new lives that they never thought they'd had before. So that's what we want for you, a brand new healthy life that you feel proud of. So until next time, stay nourished and stay well.